So, in addition to the pandemic, 2020 was the year of injustice for the African American community, especially after the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So there was a message that Valencia sent saying and sharing our support during the time. And the question is, where are we now with helping to ensure the equity and belonging at Valencia?
One of the things that I'm really proud of is that the strategic impact plan that was approved by our Board of Trustees in December of 2020 actually has advancing racial equity as a key element of the strategic impact plan. So equity is the lens through which the college will measure its success in terms of meeting its strategic priorities. So that's true for our graduation rate. So when we say we would like to see a 5-year graduation rate of 50%, that's for students of all races and ethnicities. Similarly, when we look at our college going rate, so really access to higher education, we've established a goal of 80% of high school graduates going to college for students of all races and ethnicities. So for each of the key goals that we have in our strategic impact plan, we have equity as the lens by which we measure our success. Yes. We also have institutional plans that describe the how we will reach those bold and ambitious goals in the strategic impact plan. And we actually have an equity plan that's being developed that will allow us to really delineate what will be the steps that we will take in order to ensure equity for our students and for our employees. And I think what's also been really important over the last year is just opening up of conversations. And Donasia, I really want to give you credit for really being a part of that movement last summer when you started the podcast, you started the Free-ish series. Yeah. And I think that was so instrumental and a powerful reminder of the role of students and student leaders and student development in the important conversations that are happening across the college. I'm also really impressed with the number of employees who have gone through our professional development programs. We have a program called SEED, which is Seeking Educational Equity and Diversity. We have SEED 1 and SEED 2, and we have now hundreds of employees who have gone through that program. So I think those conversations continue, and then we'll be able to put much of those conversations into action through our plans and then through the execution of those plans.
I think conversation is so important, especially teaching students about the unknown and the known, what's going on now. This is what happened and how we're going to move forward. We don't like to say move on, but move forward is much more important. So conversations are very important. And I appreciate you for, of course, supporting the podcast, of course, and of course supporting the African American community, because especially the African American community, that's where we are talked down the most, saying you're not college material and you're not ready. Oh, you're going to be a gangbanger or something like that, but that's not who we are. And you highlight that. So I really commend you for doing that and for uplifting us as you go on to the college president, even before. And we really appreciate that. So you've now been at Valencia for over a decade. What are you most curious about at this point in your Valencia career?
Oh, I'm curious about so many different things. I am curious about how we will be a different institution after the pandemic. So what will be the lessons that we learned from the pandemic that will shape us in the future once we get beyond the conditions of the pandemic, right? So I think really looking at ways in which we've added virtual services or online services, which of those will we want to keep and make sure that we never stop doing those and then sort of add back our in-person services for students. So I think that will be really important. I'm really curious to see what the blend of online and face-to-face classes will be. You mentioned earlier that for you, it was math online you will not take, right? And I think that that's true for many of our students, but in my conversations, in fact, that would have been my hypothesis, right? But in many of my conversations with our student government leaders, I really learned that it depends on the student. So there were some students who were like, just like you, math online not happening. But other students were like, please allow me to take math online because then I can watch the videos over and over again, and I don't want to do English. And it just depends on the individual student. So I'm really interested to see as we continue to really best serve our students and their learning, what will that blend be? I'm also really interested in understanding who are the students that we haven't yet served in our community. So we talk so much about how we can better serve our students, and of course that's a core belief of mine, but at the same time I wonder who have we not yet been serving?
Yeah.
Who in the community hasn't felt comfortable coming to Valencia? Who believes that they wouldn't belong if they did come? Who tried to come and then decided we weren't for them? So that's something that I really want for us to explore and to understand, so that we really are our community's college, and we sort of fulfill that mission of being here for everyone. And then I'm really interested to see our continued expansion in preparing individuals in the community for jobs that frankly may not yet exist. So looking at new degree programs, whether it be associate degree programs, bachelor's degree programs, or our accelerated skills training programs, I think that we have such an important role to play in ensuring that residents in Central Florida have the opportunity to fill those jobs that are in high demand. And I think that that's key for our mission as well.
Well, I'm excited for you to take on your role as college president. I'm just, oh my goodness, it makes me want to go back. Like, I'll get another bachelor's degree, no problem. But thank you so much for taking the time out to just tell us what you're ready for and what you're willing to do to continue to go with the mission when it comes to Valencia College. This was great. I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
Oh my goodness.